Hey friends, we're back. It's just been a few days since we fed our little wormies, but I wanted to try to pull some worms out to move them out to our urban worm bag on the porch. And I had I don't want to say a moment of clarity, but I think part of the reason the last maybe two videos or so, I'm like, wait, we're pulling worms out here, no here, and kind of going back between, I think it was tier 4 and tier 2 was because I think in retrospect, I just have been lucky where I've just had plenty of worms in those layers that as I'm going through the layers and just kind of shifting around, I'm seeing worms. And so I'm like, oh, we could take worms out of here, because I'm trying to minimize how many worms are in here so I can better populate my worm bag, and then we can let the future worms grow in here. And then I think I got kind of confused. I guess confused is the best word. I don't know. Where there's just so many worms that I'm able to play with right now. So I decided, let's just take worms when we see that tier, when we're shuffling around through it, has worms to spare, right? I don't want there to be no worms, but I was looking at this tier 3 that I've been trying, sometimes better than other. I've been trying to get the worms to go on their own to the next layers, and I was like, okay, this is actually a pretty good ratio of stuff to worms that I want to achieve. Now, obviously, these are castings, but there's worms in here, but there's not really a lot of worms. Like, I have to really poke around to find them. So I'm kind of okay with that, because it'd be really great if we could get these tiers to I don't know how many number of worms it is, but enough for when I'm feeding them, I could be like, boop, we're just feeding one toilet paper roll or two toilet paper rolls, and that's, if they're eating more than that in a feeding, that's how we know we need to start pulling them out, if that makes sense. And I'm sure it'll take a long time to get all of the tiers back to that point, but I think if we're at the point that they consume that much a week in a weekly feeding, then I need to start pulling worms out to put them out in the big urban worm bag. I hope that makes sense. So that being said, I am going to bring you guys along for the ride for today. We're going to be hunting for some worms to go out to the worm bag just to help kind of lighten our loads in here. So I'm going to go ahead and cover tier 3, because yes, worms need to come out of here anyways and migrate, but I don't really have anything baited for these guys today, but maybe we will. I don't know. I got my stainless steel bowl like always, and my little silicone spoon that we're going to use, and let's just see where this takes us. So we'll take this tier off. Oh wait, you know what? This is tier 1 underneath it. Yep, we don't need anything out of tier 1. So we're gonna move that over. And then I'm gonna go for it, and we're gonna just start all the way in the bottom. It's only been a few days since we last fed them, so I'm anticipating we're gonna see a lot of worms. I don't know though. So I'm gonna put the bowl here. Bring you guys down here with me. So remember, this was a watermelon feeding, so definitely some premium food for the worms. So you can tell there's just, it's been, let's say, 3 days, maybe 3 going into 4 days of feeding for them to be working on this. So they've demolished this. There's very little left, but we are gonna just help ourselves to this. Ooh, look at all the worms. So many great worms in there. Oops, did we drop somebody? Nope, just cardboard. Okay, we're good. Crisis averted, people. And then we're just gonna go ahead and just, let's see. You got any? Yeah, that's a decent number of worms. We'll just take you guys, and then we'll take these guys down here. Hey, Wally. Wally's on security details as always. Yeah, we got some great worms in here. And then, I mean, obviously we're taking some casting with us, right, Wally? You were like, there's watermelon. We're obviously taking some of the castings with us, which is okay. It's going to help the biome. I'm going to leave, let's see. I'm sure there's other worms in here. Yeah, there's other worms in here. Let's see. Because this tier is getting pretty close to done. Okay, cool. So there's definitely other worms in here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to let them just finish out whatever's left in here. There's plenty of bedding, I'm sure. And if they feel compelled to go to another tier above them, that's fine. But we definitely took a lot of worms out of tier 4, like this many worms. Which of course they all went south because we're near the window. But we won't keep them there too long. Just to be safe, I'm gonna move this over here, and then let's get our tier 2, which is a tier 4. I don't mind taking as many worms out of because it's clearly a bin that's been going for a while. You know, obviously I added the bedding recently, so it looks unfinished, but most of it is castings. But this tier 2, has been going for a decent amount of time, but there's obviously still a lot of bedding in here to be processed. It's not by no means complete, but it looks like I just saw over here the watermelon, but I mean there are huge numbers of worms in here as well. So I'm gonna, oh yep, okay. We're gonna get some worms. Okay, well, he's just gonna sit over there, I guess, and be pouty. Okay, so we're just gonna help ourselves to all of this. And yes, I know there's food in here that I'm taking, but that's okay. Wow, look at all those worms. Hello, worm friends. Okay, I think we're gonna just take some of this bedding with us too. Oh man, look at all the wormington spaghetti. Okay. This seems like it could go south really quick. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put my little wormington spaghetti in here. There is some watermelon that I'm gonna leave, or try to leave in here for the worms to finish off, because I don't want to take all of their food. But I'm trying to take as many worms as I can. Oh yeah, look, I mean, it's hard because I know they're all in the bedding and the compost that they have made, the castings. But all right, I'm gonna put this trim. Like, look how many worms are in here. That's so exciting. Okay, so I just want to show you guys. So we kind of emptied out a lot of this side here, but there are still huge numbers of worms in here. So I don't really feel bad about taking all the worms out. We're gonna let them just keep working away. I'm trying to gently, I don't want to say aerate, but like mix this up a little bit, because it is a little wet in here. I don't know if you guys can tell that it's a little clumpy. I don't think I would need to add bedding. I don't think it's that level. Ooh, should I take these two? No, they're not really. Oh, there's so many of them. Look at all the worms. Okay, maybe just a few. Maybe just a few. Oh, that's how it starts. That's how it starts, you guys. Okay. I think maybe this is a good unit of measure for the future. Like, we'll just say we took one bowl full of worms out. Okay, let me even this out here. So I want to leave it in good condition, although I'm kind of feeling like we'll even it back out a little bit. And since I have disheveled them more than somewhat, I'm going to go ahead and just put some general bedding down, so that way if there is any moisture that's excessive that I might have disrupted, hopefully this will help counter it, and it's food that doesn't mold, right? So that's pretty cool. I feel really good about how many worms we just took out. So I'm gonna go reassemble this back where it needs to be. And we will go outside momentarily for you guys and put the worms in. While it's outside, he's helping. He's checking the food. We have all the worms, and then we have this small little hummus container full of, I don't know, random things that had been defrosted because I thought I was going to use it for feeding, and then I didn't. So I refroze it so it kind of melted, but I am going to put a little bit of food in here because I don't think there's enough food in here for the amount of worms we've been putting in, and we haven't really been feeding, but we're going to check. So currently, just our context, it is overcast, and we'll say it's a cool day for Florida. It's like 86 out, I think, right now. So that's nice, I guess. So I'm hoping this is a good transition day for us. Let's see what our thermometer is at. Just about 90 still. So, okay, we're pretty consistently at 90 in here, which is good. All right, now let's check. Okay, so these little spidey things, whatever they are, I don't know if you guys can see, they're still here. Fine, whatever. They're not probably hurting anything yet. So there's a lot of bedding in here. And so this, we're kind of in like the, let's see, 9 o'clock area if we looked at this as a watch. So this is, I'm going to zoom in for you guys. So this is where we've been kind of feeding them. So you can kind of tell there's some watermelon over here. There's definitely some worms. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, since I know that there are worms here from where I fed last, and I also know that there's still food in here that they're going to finish, I'm going to go ahead and add all of our new worms. Oh my gosh, there's so many worms. Whee! Alright. Look at all those babies. Alright, sorry it's moving around a lot. That's because I'm holding the camera. Alright, let me scoop these guys out so they don't panic, and then we'll come back in just a second. Alright, so everybody's in here. We're doing good. There's plenty of worms that we just added. So lots of happy babies. Look at this worms. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to cover them just gently with the bedding. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus over here on, like, we'll say the 6 o'clock marker, if this is a giant clock, where it has never been fed before. So I know there's no worms over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little salad hummus container that's frozen, and I'm going to just let it, I'm also going to let it defrost there, and we will see, and it'll defrost, but it won't freeze anybody. It's far enough away, but we'll bury it nice, and that'll help add some moisture to the lower levels, because this bedding is like maybe damp. I think that's a bit of a stretch, so I think we're okay to add more moisture out here. So I don't want to keep these guys interrupted or anything, so I'm gonna cover them back up. Boom. Got our urban worm bag. We've got more babies in here. We're gonna have a lot of worms out here, so I'm definitely gonna have to be upping the feeding of how much we do out here, but that's a good problem to have.